Sure.
Sounds good. Yeah. So the fifth witness is Lai. His name Dailai. He is a past investor of the G series. He's somebody that essentially invested in GTV, the G series. But so his story is that he learned the investment details actually from the fellow fighters.
Of him being a very independent investor, that will be proven later on in his testimony, which really want to bring up later. And same with his testimony about HPay. They were showing like a video of him showing the video. It's like a screen recorded video of him using the HPay app to do some transactions. Send. And then the other one, just you see the account on the other side of the screen, just receive right away, right? It's like very convenient. Wait, one sec. So I want to add on this. So he said, do you believe everything about GTV is true? And then he said, yes, after I read the documents. So he added this, after I read the documents, I believe everything about the value of GTV and the potential and all that is true.
You talk about redemption. Redemption in terms of being able to withdraw your money or this and that.
From the exchange, right?
Yes.
Himalaya
Exchange. Correct. And the answer is he could still redeem money out. It's just that the limit changed, right? And because this leads into the next witness, which showcased that people were redeeming, from the exchange, which solidified that this is very real. We're talking about multi-million-dollar. Okay, so witness number 6, his name is Thomas Bishop. Okay, he has an extensive background with, for example, that he worked in the IRS Criminal Investigation Division. He was with them he was a supervisor there for 6 years. Then he moved on, promotion, that worked in policy for another 16 months. Then he moved on to assistant, pretty much in charge. He moved back to New York for another 4 to 5 years there. Washington, D.C., special agents. He was, overseeing special agents, special groups of special agents that did investigations. So they went through a lot of his, background credentials, expertise, and whatnots. Guess what? Before he retired, he was working global investigations. I mean, this is at a high level. So altogether, he roughly, with the IRS, about 25 years. There, essentially, we went to evidence, the spreadsheet that had the bank data of the dollar amounts, the dates, the who's and everything else, just to showcase that people were redeeming, like large amounts of dollars.
Count. So
instead of showing like a total number, it shows like individual transactions, correct?
It shows you, gives you everything: the transaction number, the description, the amount, the beneficiary account name, and et cetera, et cetera.
And 2 of the transactions were actually made by Lai, which is the 5th witness.
Yes.
So it was showcased that our witness number 5 actually were successfully being able to redeem, his.
So this witness's testimony matched up with a previous one.
It matched up with his own testimony, you can see, and not only his own testimony, also Yali's testimony.
Yep.
That
Yali also said
that she redeemed. Well, she redeemed. Sorry, she redeemed. The money from the Himalaya Exchange, and then they were showing like the chart where are you okay?
Oh yeah.
From November of 2021, which after the launch day, and to June of 2022, the highest watermark of the total amount that's been redeemed, it's
11 million.
Oh, sorry,
in 1 month.
11 million. I'm looking at 100, but 100. Sorry, 11 million. Yeah. And total transaction number, it's 561 transactions
in 1 month.
Yes.
And then now
with the total.
Yeah, and then now the total for the period that we're talking about is actually 3,680 transactions or redemptions and $64 million.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Real bank records, and you realize, oh wow, this has been operating and then been very successful operation from the period it's been shown, and the restriction before the restrictions, of course, before the government seized the money in the Himalaya Exchange. Before that, it was like perfectly functional. There's nothing, people were able to redeem, and there's a limit to it. There's rules, stuff like that. And
All right.
yeah, the second witness, it's an ex-NYPD officer. So his name is Barnett.
Yeah, Gerald Barnett. He also goes by Scott.
Yes, Scott. Which
familiar name as to some of the for the viewers who have been watching, because his name actually came up when we cover when some of the witnesses testified about the purchase of the Mahwah
mansion.
home base.
Yes. So he worked. He was hired as a security to provide security for their clients.
There, he started with essentially Mr. Miles back in June of 2022. Okay.
He started working before
individuals, and so he's not just some average security person. He worked with high level people. Yeah.
And he received a subpoena from the government. Yeah.
To testify. For the government.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was asked questions about, how was the work for him, and then what he would do to, as a security for the company and for Mr. Miles. And he was asked about is there any risk and threats that happened during your work. He was asked about the vehicles. About the motorcycles and the Lamborghini, Bugatti. It was all asked. But this security Scott, he testified that when he first heard that Miles bought the mansion, he was so surprised because he said this is not his.
It's not very fitting for Mr. Miles.
He's not
his
type of
private
his
residence for himself.
Yes. He said this is not his type of property. It's huge, right? And then we saw like labels of the rooms for madam, for son, for daughter. It turned out it's just a security map. So it's like a blueprint.
Because the thing is, he said in court that Mr. Miles is a very private person, as we know. He likes to buy some land.
And very interesting is the only thing they can find to prove that someone lived in that mansion is the picture of a bookcase and also a closet with woman clothes. This is the best thing they can show that's by the government that to show someone lives here. But then with the security person Scott, he followed Miles like almost all the time. Okay, and he said. He stayed in the mansion for a couple of days and he leaves. He never lives there. And as well as same for his daughter. He stayed for a day or leave right away because he stayed in the mansion to do some broadcast and he leave. And he never stayed there.